Boruto 2 Blue Vortex Chapter 25 shows everything, the aftermath after the mission, you know what I mean? It shows that Moegi, Shinki, Gaara are back, and it also shows Himawari training. It shows Sarada and Sumire getting back, or going back to being friends, forgiving each other, or being honest with their feelings with one another. And it shows Boruto making a deal with Momoshiki so that way he can give him his strength, and in return he'll give him his body and whatnot. So what I'm really thinking about here is, what does Kashin Koji think about all of this? Now, obviously, this wasn't a part of necessarily the plan, or maybe it was, I don't know exactly what his pre-Shin's visions were, but moving forward, now that he's got new visions, it's kind of like up in the air how he's going to juggle everything right now, because as it stands right now, I think that Boruto is, well, it's hard for me to say exactly how Boruto and Kashin Koji are going to keep on working together moving forward, especially if Boruto's kind of making his own choices or doing his own thing. And who knows, him making a deal with Momoshiki probably defeats the purpose of whatever Kashin Koji might be planning to do now. So right now, it seems mostly that Ada is Kashin Koji's main collaborator. They're able to communicate and talk with one another. And then Shikamaru is also listening to Kashin Koji because he's able to tell him, hey, this is the future. Now, as for Boruto, he's making his own little side deals. He's doing his own little thing, outside of what Kashin Koji sees or knows. So with all of that, kind of, I guess, mixed together, it's hard to really pinpoint, how Kashin Koji is going to handle Boruto again taking over by Momoshiki, how he's going to handle Kawaki, how he's going to handle Jura and the other Shinju invading the village and going after Ada and fighting Damon and Himawari. There's so many things, so many variables that change, that it's kind of making Kashin Koji, whatever he sees, well, let's just say it's not looking all that good right now. So I'm really curious to see what Kashin Koji's cooking up, or what he's planning to do next. There's so many things that are happening that we just don't know are a part of Kashin Koji's prescience. We don't know if he knows what Shikamaru's about to talk to the elders about. He doesn't know what kind of information Moegi and Shinki might have. He doesn't know how, when Gaara wakes up, he doesn't know how it's all gonna I don't know what the right word is, how he's gonna carry himself forward, you know what I mean? And we also just don't know what he's going to think of Boruto sacrificing himself, or using Momoshiki's power in return for Momoshiki taking over him, And it kind of feels like Kashin Koji needs somebody else, you know what I mean? He needs more allies, somebody on the inside, but I don't know, we'll have to wait and see if Boruto goes back to Kashin Koji, if they start I don't know, maybe formulating a plan or coming together with something. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting to say the least. But as of right now, from what I've seen in Chapter 25, I don't think that anything that has happened in that chapter are... Okay, maybe Moegi, Gaara, and Shinki being, safe. I think that's a big plus for his Prescience visions. I think he saw that. What he didn't see was probably Himawari's training, or her understanding of, her conversation with Kurama. He also probably didn't really all much care about Sarada and Sumire, admitting that they have feelings for Boruto. And then Shikamaru and the elders, it's not that he doesn't care, it's just that, as long as he's Hokage, he still needs him as an ally, so. And then Boruto and Momoshiki, I think that's going to be the biggest blow for Kashin Koji, is going to be Boruto doing his own little side deals, you know what I mean? He did it with Kawaki, so that way he would swoop in and help him out when he fought against Jura. So this time he's making his own side deal without Kashin Koji's notice or vision or whatever, and it's definitely going to mess up the plan. It's definitely going to mess up whatever happens. And I'm kind of looking forward to the moment when Kashin Koji realizes that he gets a prescience vision where maybe they defeat Jura, but then Momoshiki takes over Boruto's body or something. I don't know, that'd be kind of cool if we see in real time. It's he sees what Boruto's done and how those consequences actively mess up everything, you know what I mean? So it's going to be cool for him to notice and to take notice of when he looks at Boruto and he's just like, what did you do? You know what I mean? And then Momoshiki takes over and we'll see what happens from there, but it's going to be pretty interesting. And if Momoshiki does end up taking over Boruto, I think that puts a huge target on Kashin Koji's back because he'll be able to, like, see into the future. So if Momoshiki does take over Boruto's body, which I think will happen, but if it does happen, well, let's just say Kashin Koji's pretty much at the top of the list of people that he might want to take down because, you know, he knows a lot and his ability makes him a threat to Momoshiki, to the Shinju, to whatever he's trying to make of his own life or of his own personal gain. So we'll have to wait and see, but I'm interested in what Kashin Koji is thinking right now, or what he saw in his Prishin's vision, or how much he actually knows. And let me know what you guys think. What do you think Kashin Koji is going to think of Boruto making this side deal, or do you think he's going to ever figure it out, or about Moegi coming back, and Shinki, and Gaara, and Shikamaru talking to the elders, and Kawaki, Sarda, Sumire, like, how is it all mixing together, and how is it all following his vision, and how much of it is kind of deterring, you know? Let me know. But until chapter 26, when we get to see more, we're kind of left up in the air right now. So anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. Yeah,